Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Raising Canes right here in Byron, Mississippi for the South 78 football show with Coach Chris Thigpen. I am Trellis Williams, your host with the TSJW Network, and I'm here with Coach Thigpen. And Coach, so you guys sustained y'all's first loss of the season against Poplarville this last week. It was just kind of a tough game. They kind of got the jump on y'all, and they had a really good game. They were very effective in the ball game. What were your takeaways from the Poplarville game?
Well, we're not as ahead as we thought we were, in how we play overall. They're a very physical team, and so that showed on Friday. So it's back to square one for us. It's back to doing the things we know how to do to be successful. We got to try to get some guys healthy. We got a few guys banged up, but it was a humbling experience for us, to say the least.
So, and just like you mentioned about guys getting banged up, had some injuries, some big-looking injuries in the game Friday night. If you could tell us what those injuries, what that did to the game. Also, if you could give us some updates.
Well, the one major injury that we had, we lost Michael Phillips for the season. He broke his ankle, and he's already had successful surgery. So he and his family are looking forward to recovering. But that was the toughest loss. We'll get Sharonsky back this week. Titus Kelly also had a knee injury. And so, we're still waiting to see the results of what that diagnosis is going to be. We think we may get him back at some point, but right now we're not sure when he'll come back. So other than that, we got a lot of guys that got a lot of bumps and bruises, and so and that's typical. Week 5, a lot of teams week 4 or week 5 have an open date to try to heal right before region play starts, and so that's definitely something we'll look at going forward in the future.
So you said that Sharonsky is coming back this upcoming week against Brandon. He was out the game against Poplarville, and I know that you guys did that for precautionary reasons because you just knew that he dealt with something, and you just didn't want that to be too bad of an issue there. But how did that have an effect on the game? Because I know it had to.
Well, when the 6A leading rusher is not in the backfield for the Bulldogs on Friday night, that definitely has an effect on the offense, but the overall team. We thought maybe he could play that week. We tried to take him through some drills through the week, and we knew he was going to be questionable up until game time, but he couldn't go. And so for his sake, we decided to hold him out, versus Poplarville. But he's had a good week of practice now. We saw some bursts and some cuts and things that he's done this week in practice, and so we're looking forward to seeing him and the rest of our team play well on Friday.
So this week you guys are heading to Brandon High School, the Bulldog Stadium, to take on the Brandon Bulldogs. It'll be the battle of the dogs, there in Brandon. They're the number 1 team in the state right now. They're 3-0, just definitely a powerhouse. But you guys are heading there that day. What do you expect from Brandon on Friday night?
Well, they have a high-scoring offense. They're led by their quarterback, Landon Barnes. He's a very accurate passer. He's was a starter last year, so he's the guy that makes them go on offense. They have 2 really good running backs. They have some really good receivers. Their defense is they have a lot of new defensive players that they're replacing starters with from last season. But scheme-wise, they're pretty much the same team from a schematic standpoint. It won't be the gun wing tee like we saw last week. They like to spread you out and throw the ball down the field some. So on defense, they'll blitz you and play man coverage, and so we've been preparing for that. We're familiar with Brandon. They're familiar with us. It's the first region game of the season, and so with region games, you just got to be ready every week. And so the right team shows up and plays the best. That's the team that's going to come out victorious. And so we've had a really good week of practice, and I told the guys I'm excited to go over and play at Brandon because our seniors haven't played at Brandon since their freshman year due to COVID. So I think it'll be a really good atmosphere for football Friday night.
So and just like you were saying, going into the region play, this is a tough region that you guys are in, but you guys are 3-1 going into region play. That's a good record going into region play. I know there's a tough one there against Poplarville, but how are you keeping you guys confident going into region play?
Well, they're confident. We have a lot of guys that's played a lot of football. They've been with me and inside our program for 2 years now, some of our starters. So they know we hadn't always had 3-1 starts. They had to overcome a lot of adversity. And so, they don't have to be reminded of that. They know what that's like. They know what it's like being the underdog and doing the things you can control to be successful. And so, like I said, I'm really looking forward to our team going over and playing at Brandon. And it's Brandon. That's all that's focused on. We're not looking ahead. We're trying to go 1-0 this week and doing the things that we need to do to be successful.
Yeah, so just talking about this the game against Poplarville a little bit as well. One really bright spot that you had was Amarian Bailey had a great game. He had a number of tackles in the ball game, and he performed very well on the defense. So just speak to his performance.
Well, Amarian had one of those games that stand out for a lot of reasons. You mentioned 15 total tackles, the fumble recovery, and he was one of our guys that played on defense that didn't back down all night. He kept attacking. He was physical. He made plays. He made tackles. And as the leader of the defense, he was out there the entire night, giving it his all. He's also followed it up by, pushing through some things this week. And so I'm not surprised by the success he's had, but I was very pleased with how he played after the game and how he led the team after the game. He was encouraging his teammates. He had a really good attitude even after the game, knowing that our season is not defined by one game. It's a long season. It's a marathon. And so he really exemplified all the things we want our players to do and how they should approach the game week by week.
Yeah, so, and going back to that as well, so how do you think that Poplarville game will affect this season? When it's all said and done, what do you see this game having an effect on the season?
Well, it's over with now. It's over with now. We haven't talked about it since Monday. We're on to the next opponent. And as I said, doing the things we need to do to improve. A lot could go in a season. A lot of things happen in a season. And just like I told the players, some of them are waiting on opportunities. Well, they're going to get opportunities now because, when guys go down, the next guy got to step up. And so I'm excited to see how our team responds, this week and in the weeks coming because we remind them week by week and almost daily of the opportunity they have in front of them. And I always ask them, how do you want to be remembered? As a team, I ask the senior class that, how do you want to be remembered? And so I know they consciously think about it.
Yeah, so and going to Brandon here on Friday, I would imagine the atmosphere is probably going to be something else. What do you expect from the atmosphere?
It'll be loud. It's homecoming, I think, for them. They'll have a capacity crowd, I'm sure. But I like their setup with the stadium. Unlike most high school football stadiums you play in, most have a track around them. Well, at Brandon, they don't have a track, so it's almost like the fans are closer. So the intensity of all the things that happen within the game is, to me, I think it's just that much more intensified from a coaching and a player standpoint. But they have great facilities. We'll play on turf for the second time, so I'm looking forward to this game. Last year when we played them, it was a very close game. We had two defensive touchdowns. We blew two coverages, and that kind of stretched the game out some. So we play discipline. I know our guys going to play with effort and have more production on the offensive side. The game could go in our favor, and so that's certainly what we're expecting on Friday. We know they're the #1 team in the state, but we have to be the best team tomorrow or Friday. So.
For sure. Thank you, Coach, for joining us for sure. And on Friday night, it'll be the Terry Bulldogs at the Brandon Bulldogs. We'll be there in Brandon, and we'll be there doing that one too. Be sure to show up and rep the maroon there in Brandon. Thank you for joining us, and we'll be back with some more interviews. Hello, everybody, and welcome back. I'm Trellis Williams. Right here with me is Coach Kavanaugh of the Terry Bulldogs volleyball team. And Coach, I just want to start off by asking you, so how long have you been the coach over there at Terry?
5 years. This is year number 5.
So you're number 5. So you've been doing it for a while, been able to get established in there. Just speak to how things have developed over the past 5 years.
Well, we've started getting a program where the girls are into the club sports, and so that helps as far as growing a base where they are getting extra play, getting extra hits, getting extra time in, and so that really helps as far as being able to play well within our district. Our district is one of the toughest, if not the toughest, in Mississippi. So it really, is good when we are able to, and we're competitive. Like last night, Pearl, we were really competitive with Pearl. Pearl was not ready for us to be competitive with them, and they were surprised by that. So.
Yeah. Absolutely. So what's the aspect of the game that you focus on really hard with the girls and trying to get them better with?
Communication. Communication's a big one for us, and spacing. So always staying in your space and working with each other, and we did that phenomenally last night. It was beautiful to watch. When it comes together well, and it looks good because they're all moving in the right place.
And I'm sure in volleyball, communication is extremely important, just like it is in other sports, but volleyball probably specifically. So what is your goal for your team for the end of this season?
Well, for this season, we hope to have a winning record. We went into district play with a winning record, so we're hoping to end up with a winning record for this year. So we went into the district play last year undefeated. So we want to keep that winning tradition going at Terry.
What would you say has been your favorite part of your tenure so far as coach of Terry?
The personalities of my players. You can't beat it. The people at Terry, the players I have are great kids. So I love it.
Absolutely. Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Joining us for sure. And we got some more interviews coming up with some Terry football players. We'll be right back. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Raising Canes right here in Byron, Mississippi. I'm right here with Quintarius White, sophomore linebacker for the Terry Bulldogs. And Quintarius, man, as a sophomore, man, and not the biggest player out there, just describe the process of working to be a starter.
Well, this summer I got hurt, so I lost my spot. I knew I had to come back and work for it. So I've been working in the weight room, on the field, and condition, and putting in work in the game when it's my time to get in.
For sure, man. So coming off a shoulder surgery this offseason, just describe that rehab process and the work that went in to get back onto the field.
I went through physical therapy. They had me doing a lot of stuff with bands and some stuff at home.
So if you were to look at the pros and stuff like that, who's a player that you most model your game after?
Michael Parson. I really like how physical he is, his mental mindset to the game. I look up to him.
Absolutely. I appreciate you, Quintarius, for joining us. And we're coming right back up with Makiba Winston. We'll be right back. Hey, everybody, and welcome back. We are right here with Makiba Winston, a senior linebacker for the Terry Bulldogs. And Makiba, man, so you transferred in. This is your year here with Terry from Callaway. So
yes, sir.
just explain the differences coming here.
School-wise, it's been bigger, way bigger. and better, different environment than Callaway. And here it's just a brotherhood. As soon as I came in, they took me in as a brother, and I just felt the love as soon as I got here.
Good deal, man. So, also coming to a new team, a new defensive scheme as well. How did you adjust to the change of defensive scheme, and how did you take to it?
Well, for me, Coach Crosby, our defensive coordinator, I started off football with him, high school football with him, and he came here before me, and I felt like it was just a revamp to what I was used to from him at Callaway. So.
Absolutely, and all the region games are very important, but this game against Brandon, #1 team in the state, a big ball game, and the one that's coming up on Friday night. How excited are you to take the field against Brandon?
I'm very excited. It's very personal to me, just being from Rankin County and just growing up with all them boys and just knowing the ins and outs of it. So it's very personal.
Absolutely, and so when you look at the pros, what player do you look to model your game after?
Pros? I really don't look at the pros. I look at more of collegiate.
Well, then
So
give me
y'all
a college.
just have that food
Will
to
Anderson.
send out?
Yeah, that's part of the advertising.
I try to model my game after him.
Yeah.
Be better.
Absolutely, man. I appreciate it, Makiba, for joining us. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Raising Canes right here in Byron, Mississippi. I'm right here with Lauren Williams, player on the volleyball team for the Terry High School Bulldogs. And so, Lauren, so you've been playing volleyball for 3 years. So just speak to the development that you've had as a player.
Okay, so originally I came on the team as the only one who hadn't played volleyball before. So my 9th grade year was kind of a rough start because everybody kind of had a step ahead of me, and I basically had to learn from everybody else, but it's going pretty well. I feel like I had some good development over the years.
Absolutely. So this season so far, how have you liked it, and just describe how the season's been?
Okay, so far, we hit strong. We started off strong. Let's say it like that. We started off really strong. Once we got in district, it kind of went down, but I feel like everyone has had a pretty good season, like individually. You can tell that everybody is developing and just becoming better players individually. For
sure. So just also last night you guys played Pearl, and I was hearing from your coach, and your coach was saying that you guys had fought hard and did well. Just speak to how that game was.
That was a heck of a game. Yeah, she was right. We really did fight hard. That was the closest I think we've been to beating Pearl. I mean, they weren't expecting it because last year we really didn't do how we wanted to do, and this year we came with it. So, yeah.
For sure. So what is your favorite part about the game of volleyball?
I feel like it's the excitement. When, say the team is down or we're starting to lose points or whatever, maybe when the crowd goes crazy or when one person makes that just impossible score, that's when everybody gets super excited and the whole team just gets fired up because we feel like, okay, let's get our head back in the game. We got this.
So tell the viewers what the next event is for you guys.
Our game tomorrow with Warren Central, it's in Vicksburg, but if you can come out and support, we would really appreciate that. And we're ready to kick some Viking butt.
Absolutely, and so be sure to do that. And also, the Terry Bulldogs will be going to Brandon to take on the Brandon Bulldogs on Friday night in a football game. So be sure to go out, support with the Maroon, and get tickets on GoFans. That's digital tickets right there, and you can get into that game. Thank you for joining us. Be sure to subscribe. Hit the subscribe button for the YouTube here. Follow us on Instagram at TSJW Network, and then check out the website, tsjwnetwork.net. Thank you for joining us. I'm Trellis Williams. Thank you to the Raising Canes here in Byram for hosting. We out.
You got Nick Kelly up top on the island up there with Nick Miller.
Got two receivers to the right, one to the left.
There
McGee's
it
going
is.
to get it. Throw it over to Kelly.
Told
In
you.
the end zone. Touchdown,
McGee! What a throw! McGee put it in there! Right in their